Hey guys, so it's been a while since I've made a video of any kind, and I thought it would be fun to do a walkthrough, sort of like a tour of an Owncloud system. This is sort of like an image or a mirror of our production system here, so it's very similar, though there will be some sort of, there won't be like all the proprietary data and all that on there, so it'll just be kind of a basic thing, but it'll give you an idea of what the system is, what you can do with it, and that sort of thing. I think a lot of people hear me talk about this cloud server, but they don't really know what it is. They don't really have an idea of what the power and what kind of power it actually has and how neat it kind of is. So I thought it would be cool to kind of give a demonstration or a walkthrough of it and just show it off a little bit. And for those of you who have accounts on the production server, you can kind of see maybe some tips and tricks and maybe a little bit more that you can do with it than you thought you could for whatever reason. So let's go ahead and click the next button here and log in with this little test account that I've created. So my major goals for this were to, first of all, create a server that was fully functional and could do as much cool stuff as possible with as little work from the clients as possible. In other words, you don't need any special software, really. There are some exceptions, but not many. You don't need any extra stuff at all. You just basically need a web browser. That's it. And then you can do whatever you need as long as you have a modern web browser. This stuff will all work basically across any platforms. So Linux, Windows, Mac, and cell phones generally all will support 90% of this functionality. So that's very cool. And of course, the next button on my criteria was security. It all needed to be secure, so this is all extremely highly encrypted. Everything you see here is end-to-end encrypted. Also, the last little thing, for the most part, everything needed to be free and or open source. Hopefully open source and hopefully completely free software, if I could get it to happen. So the vast majority of this stuff is completely free software. And the parts that aren't completely free software, they are at least open source. And there are some that are open source, but you need a license if you're a business. But all of it is basically free if you're a residential. But yeah, so the point is that anybody could build this, anybody could do it. All you need is the skills, the knowledge. But everything from the operating system it operates on to all the software that it uses, it's all 100% free and open source for the most part. So that is very cool. So this is your normal default kind of screen. We're in what's called the Files app. And so I'm going to go ahead and start just kind of up here at the top, and we'll get right into what everything is. So this little cloud icon here, which can be themed, all of this can be themed. So you can change this to your own logo or whatever if you want to build one of these yourself. This will just take you back to your default app. In this case, it's the Files app. And then you can hit this drop down here and it will give you a list of all the other apps. We'll get into that later. This thing is highly extensible. There's quite a few apps in here that I've added, so you can see sort of what all I've got in a bit. This over here is a search bar. Anywhere you see this, you can use it to search for whatever you're looking for. In this case, we can do like Owncloud, and you can see that it narrows the scope of the files down to this guy here. And you can also use these over here to narrow it. So if you've marked something as a favorite, say in this case let's mark documents. Now if you click favorites, you'll see just the documents folder. You can also share files with users, or you can share files with users, and you can view files shared with you. Since this is a test account, there is no files being shared at the moment. But this will give you sort of an idea of stuff you've shared and stuff that's been shared with you. You can also tag files, so if you have files specifically tagged a certain way, you can view them. And if you have files listed on any external storage settings, you can view that there. You can also view deleted files, so if you delete a file, let's delete this. Okay, so that's what it looks like if you open a file. So let's go ahead and delete the file. Alright, so what we're going to do is hit this little drop down here. We hit the delete option, we'll hit that. and that'll put it back here in deleted files. And then from here I can restore the file, or I can permanently delete the file. Let's restore it for now. The settings button down here just shows you the URL if you want to mount it as a web DAV to another system, because this can all be mounted to an actual computer. It can be shared, and you can get your stuff that way. But yeah, that's what's in the settings. It's just the URL for it, and that's what a lot of the, when you see settings down here, that's what a lot of it will contain. It's just the URL for where, for how to mount the DAV that it uses for that particular thing. So you can do that with contacts and calendar as well. Anyhow, so this button here allows you to share the link. So if I wanted to share, for instance, this file, I can now come over here and I can share it with a particular user, or I can set share link, and then I can set a password. In this case, we'll set it to test. And then once I hit enter, it'll give me this URL here, and then I can set, and then I've got the password, and then of course I can also set an email address here and click send, and it will email that address. The expiration date, you can set that based on your server settings. Your administrator can say, well, I don't want any files being shared that will be available for longer than 1 or 2 days, or a week, however long, and then you can click that and then pick based on how long your administrator has allowed for. I always allow for just 2 days, but you can set it however long you want as an administrator, and whatever. I just view it as a security vulnerability to have it shared for more than a few days. Anyway, so at this point you have a shared file, so now you can check shared by link, I think. Yep, and there it is. So now you can see all the files that you've shared by link. So it's a great way to really really quickly sort of narrow down what you've got, see what you've got where. If you want to cancel that share, you can actually click the share again, and then you can uncheck share link, and the share will go away. So that's that. If you click in the middle space, you'll get this sidebar up, and you can choose sharing or whatever here too. You can also comment on the file. This file is neato. And then you can post that comment, and now other people could actually view this. So if you share that document with another person, say for instance if that document is a file you're editing, like a budget, or a list of something, like a grocery list, or maybe a birthday list or something, you can share that file and you can make comments on it. So let's say there was an item that was wrong, you can put, I fixed an item that was wrong, or this needs to be updated, we need to review the budget, or whatever the comment may be. But that's a great way to communicate to other users what you're doing with the file, or what needs to be done with the file. Another really cool feature, which we're going to go ahead and add a file for this. If you hit this plus sign up here, you can upload a file from your current system that you're logged into. You can add a new folder. You can create a document, a spreadsheet, or a presentation using LibreOffice Online, which is compiled into this. For demonstration purposes, I went ahead and set it all up again. That's fun. And yes, I will be doing a video on how to do that. Or you can create a simple text file. We'll start with a text file because it's the most simplistic and it'll get my point across. So let's click the text file. We'll give it a new name. Doesn't matter. And now we get our new text file. And we'll put some text in the text file. Some text. Exclamation point. So let's go with text, not test. And you'll notice there's no save button. That's because it just saves as you do stuff. So you can just hit that X. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, well, if it saves as I do stuff, what if I accidentally delete all the text in the file? Right? Like that. And now it's saved. And there's not a whole lot we can really do about it, right? I mean, I don't know that you can actually, maybe, yeah, you can do undo, but let's say for some reason you can't undo it. Let's say you cleared or you've done so much stuff and it's all messed up now, and you broke something horribly, and it auto-saves, and now it's screwed all your changes up and you're done. Well, Owncloud has your back. You can totally exit out of this, and then you can come over here. If you click that, you can come over here to versions, and you can restore the previous version. So you can restore the version that was there from seconds ago, and you can click on it, and you can see that your text has been restored. So again, if we make some changes to this, some more text, and then we close it, and then we open it again, this line won't be here anymore. We can close it again, And now if we go back to versions, you can see there's quite a few versions, and they're dated, so you can mouse over and see the dates if you want exact dates and times. So this one here, if we restore it, you can see that that's the blank one. You can restore this one, and you can see that's got the original sum text, and we can restore this one, and we've got our full text. And that is how that is done. So you can also delete that file here, you can rename that file, you can get details on that file, or you can download that file to your current system. You can also star that file, and you can do multi-selects like this in order to delete more than one file via this button up here. And you can also use that to see the capacity of all the files you have selected. So if you select multiple files, you can see a total capacity, how much storage that's actually taking up. So that's kind of neat. All right, so let's see. Oh, I've put this file out here in the main folder, and that's kind of unfortunate because we want to be organized. So let's go ahead and organize this. We'll just drag this up here and drop that, and now you can see we have our file right in here. Oh, look, and they've actually created this example.ott for us. This is an open document format. It's basically like a Word document, but in LibreOffice. So we'll go ahead and click that, and you can see that we get a, hopefully, take a second. It might be big. Not sure. There it is. Okay, so now you can see we have an example document here. And you can edit this document any way you want, make changes. If two people had the document because you shared it, you could both edit it at the same time. Very cool. So you can see here that I can select text and I can make it bold and italicize. I can do all kinds of stuff. So this is LibreOffice Writer, and you have the standard buttons. You have your normal save, your back, your undo, redo. And you can set your formatting however you want to do it. So it's pretty nifty there. And then of course you can set your fonts. So if you want to change your fonts, you can change your font sizes. You can go bigger, smaller, whatever. You can do underlines, strike throughs. You can do superscript and subscript, but it's only through quick command. I think to do superscript. So if I wanted to say square this value, I could do that, and then do Control-Shift-P, I want to say, and you got superscript. I don't remember the subscript, but they give you this handy-dandy help keyboard shortcuts list here where you can totally check out all of your different commands. So if you wanted to look up subscript, I am sure it will be in here. That's how I found superscript. Let's see. But yeah, right here, subscript, Control-Shift-B. So we could actually do that. Now I have to click out of here. We could say, oh, this is, a chemical equation. We don't need superscript, we need subscript. So Control-Shift-B. And now we have subscript. So that is something cool you can do. It also has table support, which is really nice. So you could create a table and then insert rows or whatever for it. So if I wanted to create a table, say with this information here, I could totally come over here and just insert a table. And insert oh, there it goes. Okay, so insert table, and we'll do something like that. And now you can put your data in a table, which is kind of neat. Cut and paste. So you can see that it works pretty well. Now, of course, you can close this out, but before we do that, we have some other cool things. Like you can also insert images and comments. You can view it in full screen if you like, which you may not see the entirety of that because I have it cut down for this video, so that you don't see the annoying GUI of the web browser I'm using. But that is sort of that. And of course, versions also work with this as well. So if we click on here, you can see versions, and there's your versioning. And if we make additional changes, we can undo them. So if I want to restore that version, there you go. So that is that. Alrighty. What else? Let's see. This is a quick link straight to the gallery. It's unnecessary. We don't have any photos. This up here is alerts. So if you use the Announce app, your other users will get alerts here, and you can click on them and see them. This is where you can change your personal details. You can see help, and you can log out of your account. Your personal details includes things like your email address, resetting your password, and changing your picture up here, which I have set this picture just for fun so that I can show you what it's possible to do. There's quite a bit of lightning out there, so hopefully I don't get shut down here. That would be unfortunate. Gallery is pretty pointless to show you because I don't believe there's any photos. Maybe there is. Let's see. Do we have any photos? Yeah, we do. Okay, I can even show you this button in action. So if you click that button, you'll get the gallery, and you can see these demo photos here. If you click them, you get the large version. You can click through them, so that's kind of cool. You can also play them as a slideshow, and they will pan through themselves, which is kind of nice. And you can close it. Alrighty, so that's the Gallery app. And Contacts is exactly what you think it is. It's basically an address book. Yes, this address book absolutely synchronizes with your phone. So you can add new contacts, and we'll just make it. You can add an image for that contact. We can name that contact whatever we want. We'll call it test in this case, and it looks like this particular web browser has some broken theming. So yeah, it normally doesn't do this. It's because Firefox has, it's on a dark theme in a Linux system, and apparently I need to adjust the CSS. But that is not due to the web browser. It is not due to the Owncloud interface. It's due to the web browser itself. But that's fine. Alright, so, and you can see that I've got the name test there. Okay. So I can put a phone number in here, 555-5555. You can see that I can also put an email address in here, so test@example.com. And now you can see the email address show up here. I could put an address, whatever I want. I can also add fields, like social network fields, put their Facebook account in there. I can put a nickname, whatever I want, any extra fields I want. And I can sync this with an Android or an iOS phone system or tablet. And I'm fairly certain this will also sync with Windows phones, but I'm not 100% on that. I know it doesn't work well with the standard Microsoft Outlook application. So that is Contacts. Again, settings down here will contain a URL to how to get it to synchronize with your phone. There is Calendar, which is exactly the same. In Calendar, you can set up different calendars, which looks like we don't have, or we have subscription just contact birthdays. So again, with your contacts, if you have birthdays set for everybody, it will show them on your calendar by default. We'll go ahead and create a new calendar. We'll call it Personal. And we'll make it green. We'll create it. So now we have a personal calendar. If I click on a date, you'll see a new event, and it'll be highlighted to the color of the calendar. I can make that event happen however I want. I can click more, and I'll get additional options over here, so I can set up things like reminders and repeats. I can also put a description, give it a location, change what calendar it's on, etc. and so forth. So that is very cool. That will create the date for me. If I want to delete that calendar, I can click on that event, and I'll get a big red delete button. I can also update it if I want to change information about it. This, again, will also synchronize with your cell phone, so you don't have to push your calendar, your contacts, and all that to Google anymore. Now you can just push it straight to your cloud that's owned by you or by a friend, in the case of MyCloud for many of my friends. Pinit is sort of like a Pinterest app, in a way, I guess. It's pretty neat. You can see I've got a test push here that I set up previously when I was testing this app out. And basically, it allows you to pin things to a sort of like a cork board. You can set up different pin walls, like test wall and this pin wall here. And you can also edit your pin wall. You can change the different backgrounds of it, so you have different backgrounds for different pin walls, which is kind of cool. You can change the color of your tags so that you can filter by tag. Yeah, so it's kind of cool. You know, however that is. If you look at the actual pin, you can put a description in, you can set a location, you can add tags to it, you can drop an image in there. It's pretty cool. This app, though, I think has not been maintained very well, so it may be being dropped from my actual production system eventually. The News app is really cool. The News app basically is like a news feed, and it allows you to subscribe to different news feeds, and you can, of course, manually subscribe to one you find up here of your own. But if you want to subscribe to a particular feed, and I did not choose these are actually chosen by the app developer. you can click on any of these and subscribe to them, and then it'll put it in there for you, and you click subscribe, and then you can see you have these videos now. And you can also come in here and you can do things like show all text for the videos. You can refresh, rename, you can set it so that there's no feed ordering, you can mark all the articles as read, you can trash the feed, you can pin the feed so that it's always on top, or so that it's always, it's always on top. So it basically makes it so that when you're looking, I guess, at unread, it always shows them. But yeah, you can then click on these and it'll show you new videos from this particular channel, which is kind of cool. Of course, you can do that with many different things: Distro Watch, Debian's News, KDE News, whatever you want. MSN, whatever supports RSS or Atom feeds, it'll read them. And yes, there is in fact an application that you can have on your phone that will synchronize with this. And when you mark an article as read on your phone, it will mark it as read in your calendar or in your Owncloud. Therefore, you don't have to worry about, oh, I've already read this article once, and now it's being shown to me again as an unread article, and that's kind of bogus. So we're not going to mess with that. This is the Conference app. The Conference app is a new app. I just got done building this app. Basically what it does is it allows you to have a video conference with other users, and you can basically talk with other users on your cloud via this. You can also set up temporary, if you're an admin, you can set up temporary passwords to allow people who are not Owncloud users to join video conferences as well. But this allows you to basically talk to users on your cloud with video, voice, and also sharing desktops and many other things. This app is actually called Spree.me, but I've renamed it Conference because I thought it made more sense to my users. Bookmarks allows you to store bookmarks in your cloud. And it is fantastic. So you can actually bookmark a site, which you can see I've already created a test bookmark here. But you can bookmark a site, and then when you click on it, it'll take you to that link. This is a way if you're out and about, like you're at a friend's house or something, you're like, oh my god, I can't find that one site, I don't have a bookmark for it on their browser, whatever am I to do? Now you can simply go to your Owncloud and click on your bookmarks, and you've got your URL right there. Notes is another application that's pretty neat. It also synchronizes with your cell phone if you have the app for it. You can see I've already created a test note here, and it just says test. Basically, it's just a way to take notes or whatever, that's all that really is. And it synchronizes with the Notes app on your phone. I think the Notes app is like 99 cents or something along those lines. Okay, so the next one is the email server, or the email client anyway. So this is actually a full working web client for, it's called Rainloop, and it is pretty full featured. It's pretty awesome. I like it a lot. Basically it can send and receive email. It has a contact list that it takes straight from Owncloud. So if I do create a new message, I could send it to anybody in my Owncloud just by typing, and it'll auto-complete the name based on who's in my contact list. I can do things like mark as read, mark as unread, flag, unflag, mark all as read, forward as attachment, delete permanently, clear folder. I can create new folders by going down here. I can come up here and I can set new folders. So it's pretty nice. Up here, you can actually click this and you can do settings, and in here you can do. In here, you can actually tell it if you have an off-server sort of an account that, like for instance, if you had another system that was what supported CardDAV elsewhere beyond just your Owncloud, you could also synchronize with that as well. You can add new accounts to it. So, like if you had another account, say through Google or something, you could add that account in here as well. My production server doesn't allow that, but this one you can see here does. Filters, you can add sieve filters. So here you can do things like add a condition, and you can say if this email is from Bob, then we're going to move it to discard, because we don't like Bob. Bob's a prick. So we're just going to delete Bob's email. We're going to call this Bob Sucks. There you go. Alright, so now if you want to save that rule up, you click save. In this case, I'm not going to. Yeah, that's just an example of Civ filters and what you can do with them. My email server actually supports Civ. Your email server does have to support that if you want to use it. Also note that this is segregated from the actual Civ server rules that apply to everything else. I don't know why RainLoop chose to do it that way, but some technical reason, the Civ here, what you do here will not show up on other clients that you have, which is kind of unfortunate. Here you can manage your folders. You can create folders. You can also set system folders. So like if you have system folders, you can set the sent items as sent, drafts as drafts, junk as spam, trash as trash, archive as archive, of course. You know, if you wanted to rename them to something else, you could. You can also pick your themes. I've actually added a whole bunch of themes, and I ported my extra themes over from the other cloud service so that you could see them. But these are some of the themes that I have added to it. And then, of course, the default themes as well, which are kind of nice. But yeah, you can theme it any way you want, and you can also upload your own background now. Back when I created all these extra themes, you couldn't do that, but now they've added that feature where you can, so really the extra themes are a bit pointless because people can choose whatever picture they want. But I figured, hey, I created the themes and I like them, so they're staying. So yeah, it's kind of cool. And also there is OpenPGP, so you can totally generate your own PGP keys and use them however you, in order to encrypt things. In my opinion, this is a bit lame because the PGP keys that you have here, they are not stored on the server, they are browser specific. So if you generate PGP keys on one browser and then you move to another browser, it does not keep your PGP settings, which to me makes it unusable. It's a drawback of RainLoop and such, so hopefully they make that better. Of course, you can also search your email here. You have a search box, and you can also search with advanced via different criteria, which is kind of cool. You can, you can minimize that to give yourself a bigger view. You can also click the settings straight from there. And lastly, if you had an email, there's a button down here towards the bottom. You can click to full screen that email. So yeah, it's a full working email client right inside the browser, which is fantastic. Again, also clientless. Alright, so Announce is the Announcements app where you can go and look at announcements. It's pretty basic. I'm not even going to bring it up. The wiki is an external site that I set up. Basically, it has a bunch of information about, you know, Linux, etc., etc. It's a private wiki server that I use to store all my fixes that I find. So a lot of the material for my videos actually come from here. But it's cool, it works. Downloads is a link to a download server that I have set up so that when I am away from the home and I find something neat on the internet that I want to download, say Debian releases a new ISO or something, I can plug it into my download server and it will download it directly into my cloud rather than on the computer that I'm on, which would allow me to download stuff even if I'm on a network that doesn't allow such things. Basically, it allows me to bypass firewalls, etc., and download whatever I want anyway. The desktop is a very cool app, and I will show it to you. What it basically is you can log into a full working desktop environment. And I have an SSH connection as well, but I will show it to you because it's just a boring like terminal. This is actually will give you a full working Linux desktop though. So you can see here, this is a full working Linux desktop. I can actually minimize this window here and you can see maybe a bit more about it. So let me go ahead and just minimize all these guys. That is where I was compiling some stuff. But yeah, you can see it's a 100% working Linux desktop. This is actually going to be changing. I'm going to be switching from, this is a product called Guacamole, and I'm going to be switching to something called Ultio, hopefully, if it works out the way I hope it does. But just to show you, you have a full Linux desktop, and also in here, this is a working file manager, and here you can see I've got this cloud folder. Now this cloud folder, in this case, this is actually pointing at my production guacamole server because I didn't want to rebuild all this stuff for the inside of this demonstration, so I just pointed it at the other one because it's a different server anyway. But this cloud would normally point at the actual cloud the actual information in the cloud over here. So if I go to files, I would have in that cloud, if it were set up correctly, this information, and it would allow me, like if there was another file, like something like a picture or something, I could then edit it with the GIMP, which is right here, the GNU image manipulation program. So basically it allows you to extend the cloud far beyond what it is in the actual cloud environment. Also, I have a full working LibreOffice suite on this guy, so it is actually possible for me to then edit it with a full LibreOffice suite and not just what's here. That also allows me to do things like view drawings with LibreOffice Draw and all that other stuff, because that's not supported by the current LibreOffice. So that is the desktop. Media is an MB media server. It basically uses it to stream media from my network. So for users that have access to that, they basically can stream any kind of media content that I have on my network. Generally, that's just people within my immediate family, because, that takes a lot of data to stream all the time like that. So not something I give to just anybody, but it's kind of cool, and I'd love to show it off, but it's a little bit beyond the scope of this video, I think. But it's MB, EMBY. You can totally take a look at it. It's not exactly free to install that, but it is free in the sense that you can at least use the web browser to view your content, whatever it may be, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So I've showed you guys the basics of a document here. I'll go ahead and show you what a spreadsheet looks like, and also a presentation, just so that you can take a look at those two apps. I've already showed you the Word one because that's what this did right here. So with the spreadsheet, it's basically a full working, almost like Microsoft Excel, except it's LibreOffice Calc. So basically what you've got is a spreadsheet, and you can add formulas and generally do whatever you want with it. You can change the color of the cells. Let's see. Yeah, so you can highlight different cells. It's also very touch oriented, so if you have like a laptop or a tablet with touch capabilities, you could totally use it to do what you want. But yeah, if I wanted to highlight the cells like light blue or something, I could do that. I can add numbers, whatever, 1, 2, and then I can come over here and I can do equals sum, I think, 1, what is it, A1, B1, I want to say is how that works. Yeah, there you go. So that's 3, and then if I come over here and I type this 4, yeah, there you go. Okay, so you can see that formulas do work, and I believe complex formulas work as well, but you can't get much more than just the one type of formula right now up here as far as help. Like, so if you just know the formula, then you're good. If you need help, then, well, that's not really built in yet. You do have some keyboard shortcuts here. It's a slightly shorter list than for Word, but it's there. You can check that out. And you also have alignments, wrap text, that sort of thing. You could set percentages, currency formatting. So like in this case where it's a number maybe. Or maybe that button's just not available yet, not sure. You can set it as a percentage, that's kind of cool. Format as a number. And then you've also got format as date. You can do negatives and positives. You can set your indentions. You can also do comments. Comments are kind of cool because then you can say, this is a comment. and you can do commenting on your different things, and then people can view those comments, which is kind of cool. So you can show comment, and there it is. You can also delete that comment. There it is. So that's kind of neat. You can also insert images. Yeah, it's pretty full featured. I'm fairly happy with it. So that is the Excel or LibreOffice Calc editor. And I say Excel because it definitely works with Excel documents. Though you can't create Microsoft documents on here. If you have them, you can edit them and you can view them and you can even convert them, I think. You can also do presentations. So you can get a slideshow going. So here I can do test. There we go. And you can let's see, you can add a new one, I think. Insert slide, yep. So we can create some additional slides. And you also have, I think this is duplicate slide and delete slide. So if I wanted to take this slide and duplicate it a couple of times, I could, and then I could also come up here and just delete this one. So that works. Here you can view your full screen presentation. Yes, it absolutely works, so you can see that. So you can actually create your slideshow right in Owncloud, and then if you take it to like an office or something, you want to present it, you can actually pop that thing in and present the slideshow right from Owncloud. This is all, of course, clientless. This requires no special software on the end user's PC. None of this stuff really does. The only stuff so far that does require any special content or any special client-side stuff on the end user's PC is in the Conversations app, or not the Conversations app, but the Conference section. There is a plugin that you need in order to do desktop sharing. Now, if you just want to do voice and video chat, you're fine, but the minute you want to do desktop sharing where you can share your screen to other people, that's when you need the plugin. And the cool bit is they don't need the plugin to see it. You just need the plugin to share it. So if the person on the other end doesn't want to share their own screen, they don't even have to worry about the plugin. It's only the people who want to share it need to worry about it. But yeah, you can totally do formatting up here. And yeah, it's pretty fantastic. I don't know if it can do transitions just yet. I'm not sure. I haven't really messed with it very much. Oh yeah, you can also see revision histories for your different Office documents right inside of them. And you can download them right here. And you can even download them as PPTX and PPTs and whatever you want. So that's kind of cool. You can do that right in here. And you can click save and save your document, of course. So it is possible to convert them, but when you download them, I'm pretty sure it downloads it. Well, let's try it and see what it does. All right, so if I click File, Download As, and we'll do Microsoft PowerPoint PPTX. So you need to download. Yeah, so it downloads it straight to my computer as a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, but it keeps it in Owncloud as a open document format application, so ODP. And you can also download it as a PDF too, apparently. That's kind of cool. But yeah, that's great. Yeah, I don't think it can do slide transitions yet, but still, very, very, very cool stuff. Yeah. Let's actually see. I don't think you can. Yep, I think that's all there really is to it. This is definitely work in progress software, but I think it's pretty sweet. It's coming along pretty nicely here. Okay, so moving on. That is the open document LibreOffice stuff. Again, of course, you can also drag and drop these into your documents folder, and that's that. So that's the gist of my cloud and some of the things that you can do with it. There is also a chat system for XMPP that seems to be disabled at the moment, but it lets you chat with people on my chat server as well. That's kind of cool, but it's disabled on this server just because, well, there's nobody on it anyway, so there wouldn't be anybody to chat with. But yeah. So that's pretty much it. Yeah. So I'll be making some videos on how to do this, especially on how to create and work with the LibreOffice integration, because that was extremely difficult and required a lot of compilation and stuff. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that for those of you who want that technical stuff. Another one that was technically pretty difficult to do was the conference software. That was pretty troublesome, as well as the desktop software was also pretty tricky to do as well. Rain Loop wasn't too bad. That was actually pretty easy. Really, the most difficult two were the conference and the LibreOffice one. And you may notice in here that the LibreOffice icon is missing. That is on purpose and by design on my part. It's normally there, but I found it pointless, so I removed it. And I'll show you guys how to do that when I do the demonstration on how to actually set that up. Okay, well, that about wraps it up, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something, and I hope I've brought you interest to the Owncloud platform. Anyway, alright, have fun, and hopefully you learned a lot. Thank you.